Chapter 3, Research Design and Methodology. Positionality of the researcher. I've included a subjectivity statement for the sake of transparency and to enhance the trustworthiness of this study. I am both the art teacher and the researcher for the art class that the students were enrolled in for the study. Building rapport with the students was part of the qualitative research process that I implemented. I built rapport with two groups of students, including groups of students that have had an art education and students that have not had an art education. After building relationships with the students, I took the data that I gathered and analyzed the data for the effects that art education with creative learning principles has on student self-efficacy and divergent thinking. I am a Hispanic working class male. I am an art teacher that has worked with various age groups from diverse backgrounds. I've worked with the students in K through 16 public education. I've also been involved with separate art programs that work with incarcerated adults, senior adults, and adult special needs therapy in the form of art. Since I was young, I've always been interested in art. The time that I had to make art allowed me to experiment and be creative. I did not grow up in a wealthy or middle class family, but I was able to make do with what I had, which allowed me to be resourceful and have an imagination. I went on to get a bachelor's degree in graphic design and marketing, minor in web design, master's in graphic design, and a teaching credential in art. I believe that art can help students who have not received opportunities to cultivate self-efficacy and divergent thinking if students receive art education with creative learning principles. I believe that self-efficacy and divergent thinking can be transferred from art education to multiple disciplines. I believe that art takes time, patience, and honesty. This time, patience, and honesty can help students to be persistent, determined, and motivated despite the student's socioeconomic background. Art teaches students to think creatively and to think as an individual. In other disciplines, there's often one pathway to get to one solution. Art teaches students to think of multiple pathways to either get to the same solution or a new innovative solution. I believe that as educators introduce art education to students, students learn to take risks and are persistent in achieving their desired outcomes. As students think differently through art, students will be able to differentiate themselves from the same knowledge learned through math, science, history, and English classes. My understanding of systems of oppression is that students in poor communities of color do not often have the same resources or opportunities as students from more affluent communities. The hidden curriculum, which is what is deemed by society as knowledge, and high-stakes testing are responsible for the opportunities that students in poor communities have. In more affluent communities, school systems require students to take visual and performing arts. Due to California State allocating school funding that is dependent on high-stakes testing in low socioeconomic communities, visual and performing arts is optional or not available for students until the students enter secondary education in California. I believe that students should be introduced to art education at a younger age and available throughout the student's general education. I grew up and continue to live in a similar socioeconomic background as the students that were observed. The diversity of the students in the school for this study is similar to the schools that I attended. The teachers and staff were more diverse at the school site where the study will be conducted than the teachers and staff that I had when I was attending K through 12 education. I believe that I will find in this study that students will be able to experience self-efficacy and divergent thinking as a result of receiving art education with creative learning principles. I hope that as a result of this study, students will be able to use the same self-efficacy and divergent thinking learned in art and transfer that self-efficacy and divergent thinking to other disciplines to be successfully academically and in their future careers. Summary. This chapter outlined the research methods used to identify the effects of art on the self-efficacy and divergent thinking of middle school students in the Inland Empire located in Southern California. The purpose of this autoethnographic qualitative study was to understand the experiences of an art teacher implementing art education with creative learning principles to cultivate students' creative self-efficacy and divergent thinking at one middle school in the Inland Empire located in Southern California. Chapter 3 gave the rationale for the developed research questions, design of the study, the participants selected, and the procedures used for data collection and data analysis. Chapter 3 concluded with the validity and trustworthiness used to collect the data in the study. The significance of the study was to collect data based on the researchers' observations to determine what effects our education with creative learning principles has on student self-efficacy and divergent thinking. Chapter 4 will present the data and findings of the qualitative study.
Thank you for watching the video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. And feel free to watch any of the other related videos.